No one knows maybe what's the latest drawing that we should be using for model to build this project. And that's why also the use of different technologies during construction process is important, and I'm glad that we have Derek Burke here from Accienta, because I know personally that Accienta is a leader when it comes to using collaboration platforms. They also have their subcontractors there, so we'd love to hear more about how you work with different stakeholders while using technology.
Yeah, most projects that we looked historically for rework and mistakes has all come down to the actual standards haven't been implemented on site in the first place. So even if we implement a quality plan where at each stage you must do an inspection, and even if that inspection doesn't involve the consultant or the engineers, they still have to be done. When we then result in a mistake on site or rework, when you investigate, track back the root cause, you always see that a standard has been missed or an inspection has been missed. With the introduction of digital tools for inspection workflows, we now have a process in place that you cannot move on to the next stage without having an inspection. And data is live, it's there. Any project manager or consultant or engineer can track the area by location or by the work plan. And implementing these workflows have reduced rework. You'll still have cases where elements are installed incorrectly or in the wrong place. We're using technology as well, like BIM models. You can also change the design, get it approved and get it signed off quicker. So it mitigates the risk of having to do rework if you can resolve the issue in the office before you go to site.
Exactly, all of that is great. And in the end, you are collaborating in one platform, so you have more accountability, more transparency, you can detect those issues faster, avoid rework, or if you have to do some rework, maybe the cost impact is less, maybe you do it faster. And last but not least, I'd like to ask Anna here as well, more about modular construction. What's happening with off-site construction, and how do you see that impacting, let's say, less waste, generating less waste, and improving quality? Because in the end, we want to improve that as is legitimate, right?
Absolutely. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the organisers and the speakers so far. It's amazing to talk about digital construction a bit more advanced than what we used to, especially talking about VCs and investments. That's brilliant, by the way, especially the construction industry. Now, when it comes to modular, first of all, it's been complicated in the construction industry. We're looking at it from an off-site construction perspective, and when we do, we need to just take baby steps, right? Off-site could be pods, mods, or even even precast. If we take it step by step, then we'll see the benefits of that. Unfortunately, in the past few years, people got excited about modular and wanted to go fully modular, which is as they call it in the east of Asia, they call it PBVC, which is a term that they use. In the UK, we call it MMC, etc., which is the boxes that's fully furnished, fully pre-finished, pre-refurbished, which is going to be complicated in the industry that we have in the construction industry. So if we do take step by step, and that's why, by the way, we see a lot of VCs investing in modular construction companies, and some of them are going bankrupt, and we know the Katia story, and we know other stories that's happening. So if to answer your question, I think the best way, yes, there's a huge benefit of modular construction or going off-site. It's not just the off-site construction, we need to enable it through digital, we need to enable it through drones, we need to enable it through AI and other things to allow us to achieve an ultimate solution to off-site construction. But to add into this, we need to simplify it and take baby steps. You know, we're allowed to do that. We've been doing traditional construction for many years. It's okay to take baby steps. There's no need to get excited about the boxes. Eventually we get that. Lego one side, that's brilliant. But maybe we could take step by step, move into off-site construction, controlled environments, That will help us with health and safety without saying, obviously within a controlled environment, you've got quality control, you've got weather control, etc. You have less people on site, you don't have to have thousands of people coming to your construction site anymore, you have way less, especially for a contractor, that's obviously amazing. And the list goes on, and I believe if we do move to modular, I'm more excited about modular, not because it's modular, I'm more excited that it will transform the industry, and therefore people like us that want to bring in digital, we can do. Because, you know, there's a saying where we say, if we would take the example of horse riding, okay? Construction is, at the moment, we are using the horse, we're not really driving fast cars. And are we here fixing a horse, trying to add extra things into that horse to enable the horse to go faster? Or are we just moving away from that and building a new car and looking at new ways of doing things? And that's maybe modular, that's why I'm excited about modular. Because modular allows us to move away from a horse to a car, and once we do that, we can start enabling it with new technologies, new digital enablements that then we can really innovate.
That's amazing. And we also have the rabbit that everyone asks about, AI. How is AI going to impact all of these processes, all of the existing technologies, and are we ready to ride it?
Me? Look, AI, for me, is two things. First of all, it puts certain things that we do at the moment on steroids, or I'll explain that later. And then the other thing, it brings up new horizons for AI. If we look into the existing things, we know that the current work, so there's, within each of the pillars, there's two use cases, if I may say. So within the current use cases, we have obviously what I would call robotics, which is the drones, the robots, the 3D printing, etc. AI will come in to enable that, because you have the hardware and AI comes in that will take this use case on steroids to the next level, okay? And then now we have the next part, which is the workflows. We have existing tools, RIBA, Autodesk, and the list goes on. These will go on steroids because now we have a number of workflows, we have data, we're using it, etc. Enable that within AI, that's amazing. So that's one thing that excites me. The other one is the new horizons. Now with AI, we have new AI platforms. We see this in other industries, and now we see it more in construction. So AI platforms, and to make sure we also have a number of use cases that are related to predictive and a number of Gen AI, if I may call it, Gen AI solutions in the market. So I would say these are the number of use cases that I'll allow my colleagues to drill a little bit more on.
Yeah, so just to jump in on that, I'd like to say about especially the fact that you need to walk before you can run, sort of a thing, and even AI being the next step, is tools today that can really take you into that first step, right? And even in the conversation about collaboration, where and the macro level, micro level of where some of these tools operate, is if we're talking about the construction industry as a whole, that's great, and there's a certain philosophy that all of us have about how the construction industry operates. But we can also bring that down into local, like institutional level almost, or where you operate, and how can you improve your processes, like what you heard from the contractors on site, and how they actually do it physically, and the benefits that it's having for their organization. Not the whole construction industry, and yes, it will spill over into that and develop into that, but even at an organizational level, it can benefit yourself first, and then benefit the wider industry as well. Just in the whole, because we've been having this conversation, because it's AI now, from probably about 10 years ago it was BIM. There's a bit of a mind shift that needs to happen in terms of our philosophy and how we think and approach things to do away with those. It's the same issue, like the silos, the communication, the transparency, accountability, like all of those words that have been thrown at us for so many years, but it's making it personal and getting your own sort of conviction of it almost, to really apply it internally first before taking it out.
That's a great point. So as the CTO for the company, I look not only at the innovations on the construction site, but also at the AI and the processes internally within the company. And we have to embrace AI, that's the first thing I'll say, because it's not going away. It's not going to take your job out of there. It's going to just enrich your jobs, because that question invariably comes up. But AI is not going away. Internally within our organization, we've rolled out ChatGPT as a productivity tool across the business, trained, equipped the staff. We're also using AI as boundary protection from a cybersecurity perspective, because it's bots against bots right now, because the attackers are using AI, the defenders are using AI to filter the attacks that are coming in. We're using AI in most of our enterprise products across the environment, but also AI in specific functional areas like contracting, legal, digital marketing, places like that. It's really, really impactful across the organization. But across the construction operations, there's a lot of applications using it too. I talked about 4D AI processing the as-built data with the LiDAR scans. But it's being used each step of the way. Autodesk has really embraced it with Forma from a design perspective, iterative design. You can look at, for instance, the last 100 years of geographic data. You can look at rain, wind, to design the ultimate optimal way that your community is going to be set up. So AI is processing data, unlocking experiences that we wouldn't have had before, making things much quicker, faster, reducing cycle time, lowering carbon emissions, digital twin, and things like that. So I always like to say with AI, don't be like Kodak. Kodak had the digital camera licensing to digital photography licensing. They didn't use it. They need to embrace that technology, even though they had the patent for it. And Kodak went into the targets like dinosaurs. So embrace AI.
I'm going to challenge everyone on this topic, because with drone technology, we find that it goes hand in hand, artificial intelligence. One of the greatest barriers to introducing this technology right now, we find is there are so many variances. Each construction company will have a different list of requirements on site. Of course, training AI requires a lot of human intervention. It requires skill from those on the ground that want to integrate this type of technology onto the construction site. And the reason why you don't have an all-singing, all-dancing solution from the drone industry right now is because construction site A wants this resolution, site B wants this resolution, and there's not real buy-in, because the expectation from our industry is to provide it on a plate. Of course, that can't be done. You can't jump before you run, and that's the thing. It's the challenge we have in the construction industry is people want that solution to be readily available, but there has to be an investment in people, in intelligence, in time. And I think we're not ready, we're not quite there yet, even though we are talking of AI and how it is integral and how it's the next big thing. In the drone industry, it's a big frustration for us, because the technology, the physical hardware is there. The drones, you've seen them fly, you've seen the sensors, they're all very capable. But it's only a tool, and it's not an intelligent tool yet. I think that next step in advancement would be those in the construction sector to drive this technology more, to incorporate it more, and to guide the drone industry what you need. So that's a challenge, I think, I have for AI.
Yeah, and on the construction side as well, walk before you can run. That's how we start all our IT implementations or our digital journey. But we're excited about AI. Now that we're using one single source of truth as a common data environment, we're manually gathering the data on our subcontractors. How every site could have the same subcontractor. How have they performed on previous site? So we have now probably 8 live sites at the moment. Each new site at a different program, different stage, bringing on probably the same subcontractor. How have they performed in the previous job? What was the biggest risk? What was their non-conformances? We're manually gathering that data, which takes time. But the introduction of AI to pull that information would save us time in gathering all that information, give it instantly to our project managers. Maybe that subcontractor isn't the right person to take on this new project. Also, health and safety on site. We talked about ChatGPT. We're also looking at new training, how to outrun induction training, how to, each stage of the project has a new risk, and using AI and using ChatGPT to generate a new induction for the health and safety officers keeps the site up to date. Also, looking at almost like the CCTV cameras, but also if you had introduction of AI on identifying somebody doing unsafe acts. And we also have facial recognition already for our time attendants, implementing that into a camera that can pick up an unsafe act will help us, and that's what's exciting about AI.
If I may add into this, we've noticed that in KEO we obviously work with a lot of clients. They know that we're tech savvy. They approach us for a lot of things related to AI. But sometimes we have to take a step back and see what AI means to them, what includes AI, etc. So AI for me, it means different for everyone sitting in this room. So we are taking steps back and trying to understand why AI, how is that going to make any difference? Is it that we need to add into drones that they have on site? Do they have data? There's clients that don't even have BIM and they want to do AI. So there's things that we need to make sure that we do. Not maybe baby steps, because being in the consultancy side, we're not allowed to take baby steps. We have to work with our clients, especially that we're tech savvy. We want to show them that we're out there, we know what's going on, and we want to implement the best for them. But at the same time, we need to make sure that we make these conversations a bit realistic, make sure that we have future-proof. We don't want them just to adopt AI and fail. During my time with COP28, I realized there's a lot of industries that have been adopting so-called AI, and some of them have failed, and especially within the oil and gas industry, some of them are against AI. So we need to be a bit careful and make sure that we don't do that within the construction industry. I don't see that happening yet, it's good news, but just learning from other industries, making sure that we take things step by step and making sure that we implement the AI that we want for the construction industry.
Completely agree with all of your points, and just on when AI doesn't work, like Roger mentioned, if it's garbage in, garbage out, and the models are not trained properly, you don't know really what kind of information or filters you need.
Construction projects run smoother when teams work together. They shouldn't have to fight their software either. Arm teams with tools that they like using with Autodesk.